Hello, welcome back to Ginny's. I'm Ginny and today I'm going to show you how to make cream cheese buttercream stabilised. So we all know that making cream cheese can be a real pain. It can get runny and it just ruins the effect of cakes. So obviously I can't make this so that you can leave it out for hours and hours because it is dairy and it's going to do what it's going to do. You can only keep it out for a maximum of up to 4 hours. So I can't solve that. But the fact that it flops, we can do something about that, and I'm going to use gelatin for this. Now on my channel I do have another technique where you can remove the water content, so you can have a look at that one. So I'll have the two ways of trying to stabilise this cream cheese. So I have a drop box here with a little V. If you hit that, the whole recipe will come out underneath there. So we're going to begin with making the beginning of the buttercream. So in with unsalted butter, 230 grams, and you must make sure that this is unsalted actual butter. If it has oil in the ingredients on the back in the block, do not use it, because oil at room temperature is liquid and you are going to be fighting a losing battle. You just want the pure butter. So I am using my whisk to incorporate it, get lovely, lovely, light and fluffy. So we're going to go ahead with this, medium to high speed, for around about 5 minutes, scrape down around about every 2, and I'll come back to you. Okay, mine's done, and if you can see here, it looks so white and fluffy. Right, so here you go. That's what you want. It almost looks like buttercream without having added anything else, and that's where you want to be. Mine took about 7 minutes, to be fair. Now, when you use your butter initially, have it the consistency of margarine when you get it out of the fridge. I know people say soft and it gets really confusing. So when you get margarine out of the fridge and you can touch it, that is how you want your butter to be when you start. Right, so now we are going to add icing sugar. We have added so much air into this, and that's exactly what we wanted to do, but now we don't want to play around and add more, otherwise you're going to end up with a big ball of air with pockets everywhere. So we take off the whisk now and we go back to the paddle, and everything we do now is slow. So I always add mine in 3. Put a tea towel over the top. If you don't put a tea towel over the top, you are going to look like a ghost. Right. So we're just going to let this go until it's completely incorporated. It doesn't take long. As soon as you're brave enough, take that off. And then it'll start looking less like icing sugar and more like butter again. And then we know we're ready to add the next lot. So we are going to let this go at the end. So if it's not overly looking smooth and everything at the moment, that's what it wants to look like. Second lot. Drop it down, tea towel again. So we're just going to let this go and do the same thing again. Here we are, we're back to it. Now before, it's starting to get thicker. So before I add any of the last part, I am going to put in my vanilla. It's a little bit of wet and it will just give it a little bit more in there to stop it being so thick. So I'm going to put in a teaspoon and a half of vanilla extract. Vanilla extract is very different depending on where you get it from, so test it, try it. If you can't taste it, you need more. If it's too strong, add less. We need to add the last of this. Right, I didn't put the tea towel. I'm good, it's all good. Right, leave that go for just a moment. I'm going to clean down and then we are going to get on with the cream cheese and how we're going to stabilise it. So give me a sec. It's been going around for a little bit, and what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of this out. So I'm just going to get a regular spoon and take out about a tablespoon-ish. Right, we're just going to leave that there. Now we're going to add the cream cheese. In it goes. Now obviously it's wet, so that's why we haven't added any kind of liquid. On a low, just let that go again. And then we're going to come in with the gelatin, which is really important to this. And this is going to stabilise it. So I have got 1 teaspoon of the Fun Cakes gelatin, and this is of 150 Bloom. Then I'm going to add to this 1.5 tablespoons of cold water. Pop that to the back, and then we're going to give it a stir. It's lumpy, just give it a push down with the spatula. Now it's all incorporated, looks like jelly. We're just going to leave it alone. And this is blooming, and we have to just let it sit there for about 3 minutes whilst we wait for the magic bits to happen before we pop it in the microwave. So what we need to do now is just scrape this down. Look, it's already that troublesome cream cheese. It's so loose. So using this, it just wouldn't. You'd have to get it in the fridge and make it so cold, and then the minute it came out, it's just going to collapse again. So I'm going to keep that going for the moment, just because it's going to thin it all out and make it lovely. And tidy this up and come back to you when we're going to add this gelatin. Turn this off, because the noise is annoying me. Right, look at this. That's the way you want it to go now. It's like jelly, okay? So now we're going to put this in the microwave for about 10 seconds, no longer than that. It shouldn't go more than 40 degrees. We don't need to use a probe. You can if you want to, but you just don't want it to boil, you don't want it to go far too hot. So I would try at 5 seconds, put it back in again. As soon as you can feel the temperature coming through the bottom, or even touch it, and it will just turn to like water. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to pop mine in, I'll be back with you. Okay, 10 seconds, perfect. It's all liquefied, dissolved, and that's just what we want. So if you touch it, there's no gritty bits or anything on the inside of that. So now we're going to take our buttercream, and we are just going to mix that into this mixture. I did this before I added the cream cheese. I took that out because I don't want the cream cheese to be warm in any way. This is going to make sure that a bit of it is combined, which is going to help in there, but it's also going to pull that temperature down before we pop it in. And you want to work with the gelatine quite quickly. You do not want it left on the side, because it works quite fast. So we've done that. It's all mixed in. Don't waste any. Get it all into the mixer. And then we're going to turn it on low and let it do its thing. Let it fully incorporate, and then we're going to pop it into a bowl and just put it in the fridge and leave it alone until we get ready to use it, because it just needs to settle down and come back up to a proper consistency. Let that gelatin work as well, and then I will show you what it looks like. So give this a scrape down, make sure it's all completely combined, all the way, making sure you get all the way to the bottom. Do you know, I'm all fingers and thumbs today. Okay, and then we're going to pop it in a bowl and put it in the fridge. So once I've done that, I'll be back to you and we will pipe it onto some cupcakes, and you'll be able to see how well it's worked. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I've taken the cream cheese out of the fridge now, and it has been in there for 3 hours. You need to have a minimum of 3 hours for that gelatin to actually do its job. So it is, and it's pulling like with lots of air pockets now. So I'm going to put this back into the mixer, and we're just going to smooth this out. You can already feel, look how much thicker it is. So this has worked. But now we just need to make sure that it's smoothed out nicely. So on with the paddle, and we're going to pop this on low and just let it smooth itself out for a couple of minutes, and I'll be straight back to you. Right, okay, so this is beautifully smooth now, and I'm going to take some of this and put it into my piping bag. I've got a 2D nozzle inside my piping bag there. There we go. Right, cupcakes, just here, and I'm going to give this a pipe, and then you can see how it's holding its form. So, I mean, it looks so lovely. There we go. And this one here. A gorgeous smell of the cream cheese off of there as well. Drop down and lift. Here it goes, round and around. You can see all the definition. So pretty. Push down and lift. Look at that. And that is Stabilised cream cheese buttercream with gelatin, and that really will help. So if you leave it in for longer in the fridge than the 3 hours, it will get more solid each time, but just put it onto the mixer and mix it round and it will be perfect. So hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.